Hello, my
Hi.
crappy internet. Hi, friends. Shh, Jessica. Shh.
Don't call her out like that.
We're doing shorter sprints today. Well, I guess last night's were short too. First, hello. I hope you're still loving Valor, Hannah. Hello. Hello. Ooh, are you liking it? It's my only Grady Hendrix so far that I've liked.
Ooh. The only Grady Hendrix that I guess I say that, and then like three more pop to mind, but that's one I really want to get to. And My Best Friend's Exorcism.
My best friend's exorcism was okay, but it was just like meh. Like it wasn't as good as this one in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, if there's vampires, I'm gonna want to read it. So
Fair. Hello. To be honest, Brie, I didn't know these were happening either. It was a very last minute decision. Hello. Hi. Hello. Always all the hellos. I am reading the new Riley Sager book and not enjoying it. I have 2 hours left, so I'm close to the end. Christy, what are you doing this sprints?
I am reading The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune because I have not read this yet and I don't know how. So
Seems like a book
today is
you're
the
gonna
day I
love.
finally started.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Well, I'm
funny.
glad you.
When I got the book out to read it, I noticed the gift note in it, and it's Maddie gave it to me, and she was like, "Congrats on starting your channel," and I was like, "Wow, that's how long ago I got this." Like,
Now I'm here. Oops.
finally got into
I'm
it now.
glad you can join, Brie. Hello. The worst is when all you want to do is read, but you have like the busiest day. Ooh, I haven't heard of that one. Are you liking it? I'll be on till probably for like 3 hours, probably. Loving it so far. Only for the vampires. It's like not as thrilling. Like it's just I don't know what it is about that book, but it was just done really well in my opinion.
Yeah, because is Grady Hendrix has that book as is the Final Girl support group Grady
Mm-hmm.
Hendrix as well. Yeah.
It is. And every time I say it on my channel, Steph has ruined it for me. And every single time I hold up Final Girl Support Group, I say, Final Book Support Group. Every single time. And I'm like, no, it's girl. It came first. Why does book stay in my head? I can't believe you picked it up, Marissa. Like, I've only heard bad things about Hyde. I'm not going near that book.
Yeah, no, I've not heard anything good either.
Ooh, have fun.
It's always the best when you pick up a book randomly, and you're just like, hey, I did not plan to read this anytime soon, and I'm actually enjoying it. Wow.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, I didn't even know she had other books. That sucks then. Hello. Some hi Bex. I need to look at your next message. I'm enjoying the rant. I started that too. ...
Yeah, I started that.
Go beaches, go beaches, go beaches, go beaches.
I'll just let you. I'll just let you. Just
Shh, you're on the wrong channel. I'm just kidding.
look, we don't have a catchy slogan, okay?
We don't really have a slogan. It's just that beaches and bitches is great.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, yeah. Sunset Scholars. I don't know how you could
You,
get
you
there.
just can't. You just can't really.
You're all so smart in your scholarly life that you don't need one because your head is down to the
Yeah,
wind.
exactly. We're too busy reading to come up with catchy slogans and singing songs, okay?
Exactly. There's a lot of Sunset Scholars here. I hope you like the 5th season. I really need to get to that. It's the only book I have left on my These Books Will Self-Destruct in 12 Months, mostly because I have unhauled all those books. So
Even I own the 5th season. I mean, it's on my Kindle, but I own it.
why?
I don't it must have been like 99p one day. I was going through my Kindle library and I was like, "How did that get there?"
This is like you trying to read Rune of Kings, and it's just like, why?
Yeah, on it, it was not any. It must have been like when everyone was reading it a few years
Hype.
ago, and it must have been like down to 99p, and I just got it, like, because I'm not reading that.
The hype gets me all the time. I just unhauled a bunch of books and I was like, why did I even buy this? Like, this does not even sound like a book I would like. Why do I own it? It's because it was
Yeah.
hyped. And I'm like, well, maybe.
Or like when you go into like a supermarket and then they've got like a 2 for however much deal on, and you're like, I'll just have to get 2 then, and then that extra one you get to make the deal, you never read.
I literally just unhauled a book that was exactly like that. And I was like, I should have just not done that. Thriller. I like a good thriller. I need to read The Hating Game. It's one I actually do want to try.
I really liked The Hating Game when I read it, but I'm interested to see if I would actually like it now, because it's obviously enemies to lovers, but I did really like it when I read it a few years ago, so.
No, Kat, I just kicked you off. No! No! He's trying to sneak back onto me. No!
He just wants hugs. Look, Becca, don't call me out like this, okay? Because it just, like, this is my kind of fantasy, okay? I haven't even started it yet. I know I'm gonna love it, but like, this is my fantasy. I just.
Nicole, your mom rolls how I roll. But fuck it, I'm getting a new one. I don't know if I... Is this the one that came in Goldsboro? No, that was Ordinary Monster. I don't know if I know this book. I love a good mood read.
I have been mood reading at the beginning of the boards and then strategically reading towards the end of them.
I feel that way. That's a good way to do
Although the
it.
only one I'm struggling with for this board is book about books. Like, I own multiple books about books, but I'm not in the mood to read any of them. So I'm like, can I find a graphic novel that is in some way about books? But like, I just can't. So.
Technically, one of the sagas has a book in it. I think it's the second one.
Ooh. I mean, you're rereading Saga. I mean, oh no, how horrendous! What a chore! It's not like my favorite graphic novel series of all time or anything. Like,
Throw the hoodie out.
just leave the string out.
That sucks. Always on alert for the bots. Must defend. No, I'm just yelling it at the cat who just wants on my lap, but then like won't get comfy enough. Then he's just bothering me. So then I kick him off, and then it's all over again. Just if, as Maddie said, if there's one prompt that's bothering you, just stretch that prompt, change that prompt. If it's one prompt on the board that's bothering you, just make it more fun. Like, I know Rachel, who does not read romance at all, just used in one of the fantasy books she had, there was a unconsensual sex scene. And so she was like, I'm counting this one for dark romance because I don't read dark romance.
Or just do like a romance with a dark cover.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because it's like me, like with my book about books, like it doesn't need to be about books. I'm trying to find anything. Like, is there a scene where they're reading a book? Is there an author? Is there like a book that has excerpts of another book in it? Is it based on another book? Like, anything like that counts for me. My brain has gone blank with me trying to think of anything, but like, stretch the prompts, like, where it's that.
Yeah, like full on, if there's one prompt stopping you from getting bingo, blackout, like one prompt on the board, Maddie has said just change it. Like, just whatever. But I say, like, throw it out. Christy says, leave the thing out. And Lisa comes with like real ideas. That's for you, Christy.
I shall find my phone during the sprint and look it up.
The dang Mormons.
No books, and I had to talk to people. I mean, the thing is with 2021 release, you're in no way kind of restricted. Do you know what I mean? You can read anything as long as it came out that year. You've got free choice on genre and everything. And one word titles. Like
as a fantasy reader, one word title was incredibly hard. But I just say if you really need to stretch one word title, make it like a the. Like if there's a the in front of it, that would be my stretch. But I still tried not to do that.
Yeah, I can't. I don't want to put words in Maddie's mouth, so I'm not gonna say anything.
I think she said those don't count, but
yeah, I'm pretty sure she said like it's one prompt that she maybe doesn't really want us to stretch. But I can't remember. But I mean, obviously, like if it's literally the only thing keeping you from finishing,
that's
the
how
board.
I feel. Don't stretch every single prompt on the board, but if there's one freaking prompt that you can't do, stretch it.
Yeah. I mean, I would say Verity is very much a dark romance. I don't even think you're stretching it. Like it's a romantic thriller, so I would say that's a dark romance.
Marissa has a she wants everyone to read Sundial. I mean, Rune of Kings is a 5-star book versus City of Dusk, which is a 1-star book. So I would say it's smart, but if you don't want to be confused again, then no. You're not late. I'm waiting for 15 minutes of chatting, and then I'm going to sprint.
Yeah, like anything like that, I feel like counts.
I've read pretty much most of them. That's the problem. I hope you like the Trader Queen. Wow, that was fast. You got the string back in.
Yeah, I feel like that's something it would take me like hours to do. I can't lie.
Have not read it yet. I think you're the first person to finish it so far. Yeah, put a fluff book in between. This is for Marissa, who's not here. I don't know why I'm putting it on the screen as if she's chatting with us.
Heartstopper, that's not stretching it because that's just telling you a volume number. That's not.
The title
is Heartstopper, so you're fine. That's a one-word title. Goodness knows. I just like there's books. I have a book about books that I could read, but it's like 400 pages and I don't want to read it. So
just do whatever works.
I'll find something. I'll find it.
I love that it's just being known as Horse Girl Fantasy now. Okay, we are going to sprint for 30 minutes and then we're gonna come back and chat for 5 minutes and we're gonna do them like really productive sprinting. So I will see you in 30 minutes. Hello, friends.
Hello.
I don't like this book.
What's the title of it again?
Oh,
The House Across the Lake or something?
Okay. It's just boring. How'd you do, Kirsty?
I had a shower, washed my hair, and read 20 pages, so pretty good, I can't lie.
Solid.
Yeah, consider it was only 30 minutes, well.
Yeah, nice and quick. Oh, I need to start the timer. Good job. To keep us on track. Hello. I hope you're liking that.
That book.
I
Honestly,
love
one of my new favorites of all time.
I love being on sprints with you, Kirsty, because we're polar opposites.
Did you not like it?
I have no interest in even reading it.
To be fair, it's not a book that I would peg you to read in the I wouldn't be like, oh, I would really recommend this to Cassidy. Like, I wouldn't. But
I think it's just
for
so
me,
funny. I see why it would be a good book. That's why I was like, I'll never read it because I'll give it a bad review, and I don't think it deserves that, knowing it's not a book for me.
Yeah.
But I see why other people love it, but I see why I'll hate it. But I just think it's funny. Every time you're like, I love this book, I'm like, nah, and then I'll be like, I love a book, and you're like,
have you read Strange the Dreamer?
I haven't. That is one I do want to read.
I would be interested to see what you think of that, because that's a book I feel like both of us wouldn't like.
Jade liked it, and so that gives me hope. Although Jade does like a little bit more atmospheric than I do. I love To Kill a Mockingbird.
I have not read it.
Really? I think you would like To Kill a Mockingbird.
Are there books in it?
It's a book.
Is it a book in a book? Is it a book about books?
No. Nope.
No. Okay.
Good job. Yes. That's the worst parenting. Interesting. Definitely not a casting book.
Definitely not.
I'm reading A House Across the Lake, and Kirsty is reading The House in the Cerulean Sea. Hey, we have
we're reading housey books
going on.
We're reading housey books today, guys.
I've never heard of this.
Neither have I.
This sounds. I don't want a hug.
Is it like a hug? I don't know if that's how I would describe it as. Like, it's like a book that you read, and nearly every 2 pages, you're like, oh my god, like I'm having an existential crisis. Like,
which, if you explain it that way, it makes me want to read it. But more people read it, talk about it as wholesome, and I'm not wholesome-y.
See, there were I wouldn't really say wholesome is how I found it. Like, I laughed at certain bits, or I was having an existential crisis, but I wasn't like, oh, this is so wholesome. Like,
maybe it's just because of her other books that people associate that book with.
Yeah, like that's the only Becky Chambers I've read.
Because I do love a good make you think book. I mean, we have Docile in common. And we have The Long Walk.
This was good for that as well. Yeah, The Long Walk, like that book.
Room by Anna Donoghue. I love that book.
I haven't read it since I was in school. So I'm going to reserve my opinion because I remember not liking it, but I was very young and my taste has changed a lot, so I may now. But
fair. Aww.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at the struggling emojis. You know, like that she is
Yeah.
struggling. I feel like we're reading, like, you guys are all reading a good variety of books.
Mm-hmm. This is true.
Yeah. Like, there was bits of Sam where I was reading it and I was like, this is so, like atmospheric. Like, I could really picture what the author was writing.
That sounds anti-Cassidy.
It depends. It depends.
I think
I wouldn't recommend it to Cassidy, but
I might have to try it now. I think I like a darker book that makes you think like that. Like in the terms of like docile and tender as the flesh. That one might be a little too
yeah, it's not really along the same vibes as that.
happier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hope you enjoy it. Sounds like a therapy session.
It is a little bit. I can see where they're coming from.
I agree. The movie of this is really good. Like for Room, they did a good job. Okay. Next sprint. I told you I'm going intense today.
We're doing it. Let's do it.
Because I actually need to work. Okay, I will see you in 30 minutes. Hello.
Hello.
I don't like this book.
Can you not DNF?
I don't DNF very often.
No.
I'm too
I
far
don't
in.
really
I have an
enjoy.
hour and a half left in the audiobook. Like, I'm too far in. It's just like I predicted what's gonna happen in like the first 5 chapters. And I was like, okay, well, let's see how we get there. Because the Sager's books, like, sometimes it's just like, okay, I'm along for the journey then. But it's just nothing really happened. Did you love it? Tell me you loved it. How'd you do, Christy?
I got a little bit distracted on my phone and read 25 pages, so.
Still pretty good. Oh, I need to see the
Yeah.
timer. We're doing the long break, which is 10 minutes. Huh.
It's not, I'm enjoying myself. It's good. Have you read this?
I won't read it.
No. Okay. Oh, yeah, right. Okay, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
I
that's
always forget about that. I can't lie.
That's all right. But Banters, I haven't read it.
Yes.
The problem, Kate, for me is, one, my toxic trait is having to know how things end. The second is I don't count books I DNF'd. Even if I DNF'd them 99% of the way through, it will not count as a book I read because I did not complete it. So, I need to complete it.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. I don't count anything I DNF.
Yeah, I pretty much have to DNF a book within the first 100 pages or else I won't DNF it because I need to know how things end. They sucker me in.
I think a lot of factors like change things for me. Like depends on like the genre I'm reading, the length of the book, just like
Yeah.
all of different things.
Hello. So close. Determined to finish it. Yep. Yay! 35 pages. 21. Did you like Saga Volume 1? Woohoo!
I'm smashing it.
Everyone's so good today. I haven't done like daytime for me sprints in so long, so it's like a different crowd that I'm used to now. All are way more productive than I feel like the night crowd. But
is it usually like 7 p.m. your time that you sprint?
Depending on whose channel. If it's on my channel, 7 p.m. But Ryan Mel are both ahead of me. So if we do it on Rye's channel, she's 2 hours ahead of me. So 7 p.m. 9 p.m. for her. So we tend to start at 5 p.m. my time. I feel like whatever your time is, 7 p.m. is a great start time.
Yeah.
So I feel like whoever's channel we're on, we aim for 7 p.m. their time. Because like if I start earlier, I'm like, I still need to eat dinner. I still need to do things. Like it's so hard to be there at 5 p.m.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it depends for me. Like I quite like starting at 6, but I just don't do it often. But like if you start at 6, I feel like you can go for like 4 hours, but still finish at 10 and then get an early night if you want it.
It helps that I'm not an early night person. So when I'm on my channel, I'm like, let's go till 1 a.m.
Honestly, the amount of times I've woke up and checked my phone and you're sprinting, I'm waking up for the day.
Time zones. A wonderful thing. It's interesting. I actually find it easier to work around UK time zones than it is like Rise time zone is so hard for me. That 2 hour makes such a big difference, but like I feel like when one is in like a slow hour of the day, the other one is in like a busy hour of the day.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Where like at least when with the UK, I'm like, oh, it's like noon for me. It's like 7 p.m. for you guys. So it is 1:30 in the afternoon for me. So I'm technically working right now, but I listen to audiobooks while I work, so I was like, we can sprint. So close. Ooh, let me know if you like the skin. It did get cut from the competition, but I'm still interested in it.
I think that's on my wish list if it's the one I'm thinking of. Is it like dystopian-y? Like dystopian-esque sci-fi?
No, it's a fantasy book. It's a stealth pub. There's like a Selkie look on the. It's blue.
Oh no, the one that's on my wish list is just skin, not the skin.
Love the difference.
I mean, you can understand why I would get confused.
100%. Because I always forget. Like, I keep calling City of Dusk, but it's actually the City of Dusk. And I'm like, why did it need the? And can we just drop the?
I do that all the time.
Yay for Mountain Standard Time. Yes.
2 Mountain hours. Standard Time.
That's my time zone.
Mountain. I like that. Like Mountain Standard Time. Not like Eastern or like Mountain Standard Time. That's so cool.
We're in the mountains. Well, I'm not. I'm still in the prairies, but the mountains are like 2 hours away.
I love that.
Pizza.
We're just like British summertime. How boring.
Your guys' makes the most sense though. Like, it's so
I don't
easy.
even know what GMT stands for. Like, if I saw it written down, I'd be like, well, yeah, that's what GMT stands for, but I can never remember.
Isn't it like Gridwich?
Yeah, something like that.
Something?
Yeah.
The Rockies. Mountain time gals. Praising the mountains. Yeah. We technically, I think, have a summertime too, but everyone just calls it MS. Well, I think it's MST, and then there's another one that doesn't have an S, but we all just like, I've never not used MST. Like, it just converts in my head when we go through time change.
Yeah.
Where you guys are very much
GMT and BST, yeah.
Yeah. Montana. That makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, British summertime makes sense because it is just British summertime. Can it not just be like British summertime and British wintertime?
Literally, that would make the sense. Why don't we do that? I love that. I don't know how it gets there, but that's hilarious.
Love that for you.
Like, what is like mean? Why do we put mean in there?
I have no idea what it means. Yeah.
Yeah, our daylight savings are at different times, and it is frustrating.
Which I guess makes sense because we're in different parts of the world, but I found out today that yesterday was the longest day of the year for us, and I was very sad because it means it's a way to start getting darker.
I think it's the longest day for us too.
I was very sad. It was one of the first things I found out this morning at work, and I was like, wow, thank you for ruining my entire day.
What time do you guys get sun for? I always have this conversation with my States friends because they get like little sun compared to me.
So I guess like round about this time of year, it's like a lot. Like I waking up, like the sun's up when I'm up at like 6. The sun's already up, and then it's still like bright outside when I go to bed. So I'd say it probably gets dark at like 11ish.
I think that you're around what we are then, because we're about the same, like 5 to like 10:30, 11. Half the time when I'm on sprints with like my UK friends, they're like, it's been dark here for like 5 hours, and I'm like, oh, I still have sunlight. I was expecting it to read a little bit more YA. I want to do my next SBFBO vlog is going to be reading books that haven't made it, so they've already been cut, and I have 2 that I want to read, and I'm just waiting for another one that really piques my interest. Yeah, I don't even know
Yeah,
how
I
it's
mean, like,
supposed
have
to.
you noticed this entire time we've been speaking about it, neither of us have said the word, I don't think, because we are also just avoiding saying it.
This is solid thinking.
Yeah, goodness
Fancy.
knows. Also, it's not. Well, it's 20 to 9 right now, and it is bright outside. Like, the sun is not going to be set in 20 minutes. I can guarantee that.
Yeah, our sun sets I think at 11, but we have light until like midnight. Like it's like the blue hour light goes so long over here.
Yeah.
Hi, Rye.
You're
Oh,
here
yay.
just in time.
Read my book again. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. That's even like weird for me. Snow in June. I would cry.
I mean, I am not surprised by any weather in the UK anymore.
I don't know why I'm making this face. I really
It's
don't
fine,
want.
okay? We'll just sprint and then you'll only have an hour left.
That's true. I keep pushing up the speed of the audiobook because I'm so bored. Every like 5 minutes I go up like a 0.1 on Audible and I'm like, okay, how fast can I get this while still understanding kind of?
I love that.
Okay, I'll see you in 30 minutes.
Oh my god, ew, it's Paris.
Wow, Christy woke up and chose violence.
Damn.
It's Paris. What are we expecting? Hello, how are you?
I am shit today.
Oh
Oh.
no.
So I thought I would like come here and maybe it will lift
Get
my
bullied
mood.
by me.
Yes. Basically.
Glad to be of service.
Basically. I already feel better, Christy. Thank you. No, it's too hot and it's too today. It's just
Gross. Those are the worst days. I need to watch your video. I'm so excited for it.
Oh, my Course of Dragon.
Yeah.
I'm slightly confused because I got a notification saying I was mentioned in the description, and then I was like, ooh, and then I saw what the video was, and I was like, excuse
Yeah,
what?
it was just that I was on your sprints, I think. That's why I'm like,
Okay.
yeah.
I was very confused, I can't lie. I read another 25 pages.
Ooh, good job. I barely read. Nick called me because we're planning a vacation right now to BC area. We're trying to look for hotels, so I didn't read. But this could be the last sprint. It depends when I have to go pick my sister up, really. First, what are you doing in the sprint? Just chilling?
I'm reading Keepers because I feel like that would also lift my mood massively.
Love that for you.
But I think I'm gonna tidy up. I'm listening to the audio, but I think I'm gonna tidy up in the next sprint a little bit because it's also a mess here, and that's also like not good for my head. So I think I will do that.
I like that idea.
The length of those books, considering they're middle grade, just ain't it.
They're huge for middle grade.
This one is almost 800 pages. Not even the biggest one. The biggest one is, I think, Flashfire.
Like, I could just go about trying. If I put that down in front of my nephew, he'd be like, I'm not reading that. Like, even half of that is long for a middle grade. What do you mean?
Yeah, but you know, like, I read these books like within a day because it goes by so fast, and the font is huge.
Like, yeah, I get it for like older people who read middle grade, but I think if I was like, if you had given that to me as a child, like as a middle grade age reader, I'd have been like,
I would be all over it because you know I liked big books as a child already. So
see, now I was all for like read 3 books a day that are like 100 pages each.
Christy, you're still all about that. Let's be honest here.
Wow. Okay. Honestly, like I sat down last week and my plan was to read these double booked and Sam for the Wild Bill, and I was like, why am I reading 3 books that are like 400 pages? Like, ugh.
When like I'm the opposite. If it's less than 400, like the less than 300 page prompt on Whateverthon, I look at all the time and I'm like, I hate you. I despise you.
The amount of books I've picked up recently that are like under 300 pages, and I'm like, I am so excited to read all of these. You're all my best friend.
Yeah, I feel this.
I do get that. I mean, like when I was younger, I like sat down and read Breaking Dawn in one day, like when it came out. Like I was like a sit down and just read, like kind of person. But
Keeper's getting the love for being huge.
You know, this is when I know that there are a lot of fantasy readers in the comments.
I do prefer this first book in a series to be probably like 400-ish, and then they can get chunkier, but I need that first book to be a little bit smaller, because what if I don't like it?
That's very true.
Like Trader's Blade does that. Even Assassin's Apprentice does that. Like Robin Hobb. The first book is always smaller so that you can just like taste test it.
Yeah. See, I find this so interesting because I'm just like I own Empire the Vampire, and every time I look at it, I'm like,
Why
when
do
am
I
I
own
ever gonna have the courage to pick this up? Like,
Yeah, why do you own that?
because I actually want to read it.
Because it's vampires.
Yeah.
We talked about
How
vampires
big,
earlier.
how big is docile though? How
500
big?
ish?
400
400 to 500, I think.
Okay. I'm
But
reading
it's like a
through it.
really, really quick read. So even though it is slightly longer than what I would probably normally read it, I read it in like 2 days. Like 24 hours, but 2 days.
Same. I am. If I don't like a book, like if a book is under 300 pages, I'm probably not going to really like it.
A Song for the Wild Built was 150 pages.
Mm-hmm. Sounds not great.
The thing is, it depends, right? Because obviously people who prefer longer books are usually fantasy readers, right? So you need that pages to do the world building and stuff, and like the setting of the scenes and the magic systems and all that. Plus, like if you're more into the sort of stuff that I'm into, if you're making a book that long, it's like, oh my god, why are we still going on about this? Like there's no world to build and stuff. So
if a horror or a thriller book is over 500 pages, I automatically say no. Let's not even get into romance. Like if romance was that big, it would be like, what is going on in this book?
yeah, exactly.
So I
So
do agree.
I feel
Genre.
like there is a difference with like books that are meant to be novellas. You know, they are novellas, they're meant to be tiny. But for example, like Holly Black's books, they are full novels and they are like so fucking tiny. I just don't trust them, you know? And they're bad as well.
yeah.
For me with novellas, it's always I just want more. Like I just always sit there and I want it a little bit more somewhere. And so that becomes my lover of bigger books because I want that more depth. I want to see how we got here. Where a lot of people are just like, this is fun, just to see it. And I'm like, wait, tell me more about this.
I'm a standalone person. So I'm just like I never look for more because I'm never used to getting more in the first place.
Mm-hmm. It's also why I don't like standalones. It's because I always am like, but we could have another book.
Yeah, I prefer series as well.
To be fair, I actually feel like it's quite uncommon to prefer standalones. Maybe it's just the people I speak to, but everyone's like, "Oh no, I love series," and I'm like, "But why?"
I think it's a fantasy versus other genres again. Like if you are a fantasy sci-fi type reader, like when I read thrillers, horrors, or like dark romance, I don't want them to be a series. But like my 75% of my reading is fantasy in it, so I always say I want series and I don't like standalones. But when I read a romance,
I also don't like that it's like a series, except for like Truly Devious. I really like Truly Devious as a series.
I haven't read that one.
See, that's an interesting take with Stephen King because I read The Long Walk, love it, it's short. I read The Green Mile, it's short, loved it. And then I read 11/22/63, is it? Hated it. I was like, oh my god, are we still going on about this? Like, oh my, like that book was horrendous. I hated it.
I prefer shorter Stephen King. I'm with you on that, Christy. The Long Walk was better than The Institute.
Like,
because The Institute, I was just like, okay, let's end this now.
I need to get
There's
that
still
one.
half a
I'm
book.
excited to read it. I'm excited to get that, but
I still liked it.
No, there's a lot of Stephen King I'm just not interested in reading at all, which I think is the interesting thing about Stephen King, like because of his interesting past with pharmaceuticals, some of his books are like what?
Yeah. I agree with this. I was in and I almost bought a 150-page book, but I was like, I cannot justify spending $26, which is probably about 20-ish for you guys, 18 pounds, like on a book that's only 100-ish pages. Like, I can't do it.
No, I totally get it because I'm the same, but I just read a premise, I'm like, but it just sounds so good.
Be easier if I kept them, like where I'm not a big bookkeeper. Like I like my books just to be more unread than read. So like if I knew I was then gonna love this book and keep it on my shelf, I would maybe spend the $26. But
Yeah.
It's like A Psalm for the Wild Bill, I'm pretty sure is like nearly £15. Pounds, that sounds so weird to say. Like 15 quid, but because it's a hardback and it's a Tor release, but it's also 150 pages, so it's dearer than a normal hardback, and it's 150 pages, and
yeah, it's intense.
Also, the Wayward Children series is also quite expensive for the tiny books. But I love that series. Like, I swear, I love that series. It's so good.
I did them all audibly because I don't know why. Just cause.
did you like them? I feel like they're not ones I would think you'd like.
There's ups and downs. I hated the first book. The second book was my actually the last book, the one that just came out, was my favorite. But about
Oh,
the
Where
reason,
Brown Girls Go.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I love the like I want to say trope of like kids in an institute. It's why I loved The Institute by Stephen King and The Girl with All the Gifts. And so I was so fascinated by what was happening in that school.
Yeah.
But I think the first book got 2 and then the last book got 4 stars. So it's like a wide range. It was like up and down.
I think that's a good thing with the series. I think that's a good thing. Obviously, you want to enjoy them all, but like there is such a massive variety within it that like you do get that.
As a fantasy reader, I found I liked all the I mostly liked the books in the worlds, the even books.
Yeah.
So I felt that was interesting to see.
Yeah. To be fair, I think from what I remember, from the ones that I've read, I preferred them as well. I didn't like. I gave the first book 3 stars. Wasn't really that
I
enamored of it.
love In an Absent Dream. It's the 4th one, I think. Like, In an Absent Dream was for me like my absolute favorite. I cried my eyes out during that.
What world is that?
It's the Goblin Market with Lundy.
Oh, yeah. That one was good.
That one.
It's not my favorite, but it was good.
I always say when I get a door, it will take me to the Goblin Market. That is my dream world. I want to go there. I want to go there right now. Okay, I'm gonna find the door in the next sprint. So if I'm not back, then I will have found my door.
Okay.
I hope you find the door.
I'm presuming you're taking Lily with you then.
Oh, of course I'm taking Lily with me.
Lily will thrive. You'll get kicked back to our world, but Lily will still be there, just living her best life.
No!
But then Lily will find you and bring you back there.
Panic attack! Oh my gosh!
Chris, it's fine. This isn't actually gonna happen. You're okay.
But Lily will then help you get back. Lily will be like, "You beaches better give the door to her."
No.
Chris, it's fine. We're all good.
Okay.
I caused chaos.
Just click the button. Click the button.
30 minutes. See you. Never read this book.
What are you reading? I have no idea what you're reading.
I'm reading the new Riley Sager, House Across the Lake.
Oh no! I love Riley Sager's books. But I only read 2, so...
I think this is his worst one yet. I think most people will still think Survive the Night is the worst, but yeah.
Yeah, I got an arc of Survive the Night, and then I saw everyone else reviewing it when they all got arcs, and I was like, never mind. Swiftly delete that from the Kindle.
I was sitting at a 2-star for most of it, and then like the twist happened, and let me tell you, it's the stupidest thing that's ever existed. And so I'm like, maybe it's a 1-star.
Oh damn. I want to do like a Riley Sager vlog, and like I want to read Survive the Night, and then this one, and then some of his work that is like really like highly acclaimed.
What ones have you read?
I've read Last Time I Lied.
Okay.
I absolutely loved.
Me too.
And then I read Lock Every Door, which I liked a lot.
So you still have a good one waiting for you. Home Before Dark is still good.
Home Before Dark. I want to read that. Final Girls.
Yeah, I hate Final Girls, but I think this one's worse than Final Girls.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
I don't want to give it a 1-star. Like, I'll run it through Callpile to see, because I do that for 1 and 2 stars so that they're not super harsh. But like, I'm not a fan.
Oh no.
I just think that the more he writes, the less creative he's getting. I don't like that.
I think that's the issue with thrillers, just like with the same author doing them over and over and over again. It's like, how many times can you come up with something that's never been done before?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, at some point it's all been done before.
Very just like tropey, in my opinion. Like, it's like, just add something to it, you know? Like, I was just waiting for something to stand out. Mm-hmm. But with thrillers, you never know, because I absolutely despise Final Girls, but Rye's favorite is Final Girls. So it's all about like what you like in a thriller, really.
Yeah, I know people who despise the ending of Last Time I Lied, and I love the ending, like the last 3 pages. I thought it was absolutely brilliant.
It's the same with like Vadae though. Like, I loved the ending of Vadae because I interpreted it totally differently as to how like Maddie did or Cassian.
Yeah.
Like, so it depends. Like, you can read, it's the thing is, it's the same with like, I just read Double Booked, which Maddie loved and I didn't, but it just depends like how you can pick up a book and read the same thing and I instantly go, ugh, and Maddie goes, oh my god, I totally get where they're coming from, or like that's the whole thing. We love that about reading. It would
so
be boring if we all like the same books.
I find thrillers like very interesting for people because I think it all just depends with a thriller what you've read before. Most of the time.
100%.
Because if you've read it before, most of the time you're like, oh, this sucks. But if it was like the first thriller you've picked up with that trope or like that twist, you're like, oh my god, this is incredible.
100%.
Callpile is great.
Yeah, I'm just such a, like, I can tell within the first 50 pages of a book if I'm going to give it 5 stars. Like, nearly always I can tell within the first 50 pages if I'm going to give something 5 stars. So, like, to me, I'm, like, a total, like, in the same way that I am a mood reader, I am a mood rater. Like, I'm like, did I love this? Okay, 5. Was it just fine? 3. Like, I'm not logical about it.
I'm very jealous of your 5-star instinct. I'm a little bit of both.
I just go with my gut, and like with Callpile, it's like a really good system. But I tend to because you have logic in there, right? And sometimes books are not logical, but I don't mind them not being logical. So I sometimes I don't call it call pile, I call it call pie
And
because
just
I leave the L out.
that works. Compile for me, I don't use as often anymore. It's very like my gut instinct tends to be what I rate it for. It's those books that I'm like very unsure about. Like I'm like, oh, this could be a 3, this could be a 4. That I'm like, I need to run it through Compile.
Whilst I just rate it 3 on Goodreads and then put in my review 3.5, and I'm like, there you go. Sorry. If I can't decide between 2, shove it in the middle.
I don't have a 0.5, so I don't give 0.5s out.
I only do it in like a Goodreads, like if I do put like a rating.
Saying hi?
Yeah.
Are you
But like
leaving again?
this, so I'm like 86 pages into this, which is actually quite good because I just started it at the beginning of these sprints. For me, that's quite good anyway. And I'm like, I'm enjoying it, but it's sitting at like a 4. Like, because I'm this far into it and I'm not like, oh my god, this is the best thing I've ever read. I don't see myself giving it 5. I mean, I could be wrong. Something may happen. But if I don't love it now, like if I don't love it with every fiber of my being by now, it's unlikely I will ever get to the point where I'm going to give it 5.
That makes sense. I'm much more of an ending person for me. Like
Yeah, to
endings
me, it's
matter
just
for
like
most.
5 stars. 5 stars to me are just like, I loved everything about this. So if I didn't just instantly fall in love, I'm like, well, like if I need to get halfway through a book before I'm going to enjoy it, I'm like,
Fair.
like
There
to me,
is didn't this year there's a whole thing that she said about Compile and changing it a little bit. If you go watch her video, G's video on it from this past year, she does talk about putting nonfictions into it. Sorry, I kind of cut you off there, Christy.
no, you're good, you're fine.
Like there didn't.
I mean, thumbs up, thumbs down aren't. I mean, I'm a bit more. I like the 1 to 5. I understand people not doing like 0.5s because Goodreads don't do it, but like to me, I just put 3 stars on Goodreads and then in my review I'd write it's more of a 3.5.
For me, I don't know. I always feel like it's so hard because ratings are so like subjective. So I always just say like a high 4 or a low 4 because I just feel like in my mind that makes it easier to tell you how much I liked the book versus 4.5 is still confusing for me. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's difficult because like the whole rating system, like you say,
So
it's so different for everyone. So like my 3-star could be totally different to your 3-star. So like at the end of the day, it doesn't even matter how we all rate our books because we're rating them for ourselves. Like I rate a book so that I can see, like if anyone asks my opinion, I can go back and be like, oh, yeah, that wasn't a good one.
Yeah, I always try. Like I always like to use ratings because I can then figure out other people's ratings. So I like when people talk about how they rate books because then I can be like, okay, I know if you gave this book 3 stars, you're a harsher writer than I am, so it might be a 4 for me. Like I always like to kind of understand how people rate. I love the like how I rate book videos. I always watch them because I'm like,
I've
yes,
actually
tell
been
me
meaning
so
to do
that
one of them.
I can understand.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've been meaning to do one of them, but I always just feel like it'll be like 5 minutes long. So I'll be like, yeah, 1 is I hated it, 2 is I really didn't like it, 3 is it's fine, 4 is it's really good, and 5 is it's absolutely incredible. Like it's
That's fair. I don't really rate series as a whole. I mean, I'll talk about loving a series as a whole or something, but like each book has its individual rating. The series itself doesn't really have a rating for me.
yeah.
And yeah, like I don't do that in Compile. I don't rate a series as a whole. Especially because I
know
don't.
what you mean though. So like, would you like if the characters like all of a sudden change within the second book of a series and you hate them in the second book, you like would then have to look at like how you rated the first book to like compare and like adjust accordingly and stuff. But That could just be me and my very accounting-based brain and something like
I
compile.
would just put a number in. I'd be like, oh, I don't like them this time. They can be a 6 today instead of whatever they were last time. If they ended up being the same, well, I felt differently.
I mean, to be fair, people have been asking for half stars for literal years. So, like, the thing is, I don't actually think it would, like, I feel like everyone's like, well, yeah, but it wouldn't be that difficult to do. But I presume from, like, a coding side, it would actually be more difficult than people would think, I presume. I don't know.
I mean, it's Amazon. You can do it. You can do it.
I mean, yeah.
But to be honest, it doesn't bother me that it doesn't have 0.5s, but I know it bothers other people because I think it just makes it more complicated. Yeah, welcome to my side of the world where I've given out just as many 1 stars as I have 5 stars. Mine is always, I find that lots of people don't like to give out 1 stars because it's inherently a bad book then, but I rate mainly off of my enjoyment. So if I did not enjoy a book at all, it should get 1 stars. It's not about a critical think for me there.
Yeah, I'm more of an enjoyment. Well.
Where a 3 is a decently, like my 3 is higher than most people's, I think, because I count 2.5 as 50%. So if a book got a 3, it passed. Like I liked it enough, it passed.
Yeah.
A lot of people switched to Storygraph this year.
I switched to Storygraph at the beginning of the year and then swiftly moved back to Goodreads because I was like, I just want to go on and put on a star rating and I'm being asked all these questions and I don't care right now.
Agreed. I did it for like 2 books and I was like, this is too much work.
I was like, yeah, like I like the fact it gave me statistics that I could look back on because I did use it for a few months, but I was like, and it was also really annoying me because like I would go on and I just like, I wasn't being able to see what any of my friends were rating things and stuff because everyone just uses Goodreads. So
same. Both have hides. You're in the right crew because I DNF'd the first one. This is true. I think maybe if Storygraph gets bigger, we will see half stars on Goodreads. Yeah, if I DNF a book, it's 0. So
yeah, this is what we mean though. Like it's so different depending on who you speak to as to how everyone rates books. Like if you don't DNF, then 1 stars are going to be more commonly used because you don't DNF. So it's like it totally depends, and like it also depends if you know your own reading as well. Like I feel like you get to a stage where you just start to know what you're gonna give 1 star, and it's very rare that I will pick up something that I'm gonna hate. So like I'm a contemporary reader, which I don't like calling myself anymore, but I'm like a non-fantasy reader most of the time, right? So if I pick up like the 5th season or Game of Thrones, right, I'm gonna give it 1 star because I'm not gonna enjoy it. So it's like knowing what you're gonna like.
Yeah, I read a lot that is questionable for my own taste because I'm always trying to expand my taste.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of 1 stars. Like thrillers, I find so hit and miss for myself that's where they come from a lot of the time. And then there's like City of Dusk. Okay, I'm ending this here though because I need to go pick up my sister. So thanks for joining me, and have a good day, everybody.